Hey folks, we've been exposing how incompetent Bob Duff is, but you really got to look at this little clip we have set up. It's about Rosa DeLauro and Jim Himes. Both people get money from Raytheon, and they're the two most liberal congressmen in Connecticut, by far. Himes runs the Progressive Caucus, so now he was involved with the FISA courts and all that corruption, but take a look at this. It's important. If you go to my computer file, okay, I'm tracking a lot of stuff. Bill to avert government shutdown. Okay, let's look at it. I'll tell you why. If you read the fine print, which most people aren't reading, talks about the debt ceiling. Okay. And the plan of Rosa DeLauro to spend $7 billion on, let's watch, I'll show you. Democrats did prevail. Hold on. Let's get this heading. It's tricky. I get you. Let's see if we can bring it up. Paste. Enter. Watch. Okay. Voting on the bill. Look at this bill. It's tricky to get around some of these topics, but when you look, here we go. Well, I wish it were earlier. This agreement allows appropriations process to move forward towards a final funding agreement which addresses the needs of the American people. That's what DeLauro said, okay? Now, she said the Democrats did prevail, including $7 billion for Afghanistan evacuees. Those are not Americans, folks. Those are people abandoned who were helping us in Afghanistan, so they are owed an obligation. However, look at the rest of these articles and tell me what's wrong with this picture, okay? Nearly 4 in 10 LA voters say homeless people in their neighborhoods make them feel unsafe. Now, these are by the thousand. If you look at New Haven, by the hundreds and hundreds, there's 300 veterans homeless in New Haven. 300. She's giving $7 billion to Afghanistan refugees before American veterans in New Haven. Now, keep in mind, the last election, there's 139,000 New Haven residents. Only 10,000 people voted. But look, when you look at Himes's statements about the Build Back Better plan, the Build Back Bankrupt plan, the American Rescue Plan is murder with Planned Parenthood, and the bill to avert a U.S. shutdown. That's major. When they need the money and they're ruining the currency, they turn around and give undocumented with an open border $7 billion. Why? Because they're incompetent, folks. They're totally incompetent. Look at DeLauro's plans. It's shocking how they're destroying families, shocking how they're destroying religion, and shocking how they're destroying the Constitution in the Constitution state. Watch Jim Himes talk. Here's his page. Watch this video. Oh my God.
Our coverage, Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut, member of the Intelligence Committee. I just want to recap the news for any of our viewers just joining us. The House has approved a contempt resolution for Steve Bannon. 9 Republicans voted with all of the about the bipartisan vote today.
These people just vote. Look at this. Adam Kinzinger. Unbelievable.
Well, Nicole, I was glad to see that it was
Liz Cheney.
And by the standards of the day, pretty strongly bipartisan.
Keep in mind, when you talk about Himes,
I want to bring into our coverage Congressman Jim
You gotta
Himes
go
of
here.
Connecticut, member of the Intelligence Committee. I just want to recap the news for any of...
Well, The table today was the
Here,
institutional prerogatives of the United States Congress. Whether somebody can just say, sorry, I'm going to ignore your subpoenas. Hillary Clinton didn't do that when the Republicans were interested in talking to her about Benghazi. She showed up and spoke.
Hillary didn't testify, folks, because Himes, who's on the Intelligence Committee, number 2 in command, is calling the shots on the FISA warrants, all the FBI agents that break the law and leak, all the Homeland Security problems at the border are his oversight, SEC oversight, while he takes bribes from Bank America. Hi, look at OxyContin. He took a bribe. He didn't return it. Blumenthal figured out after the bribe he received from Oxy that he should return it, and he did. Why? Because he's much smarter than Jim Himes. Now, when you look at the facts here, Lauro, a socialist, Himes, the most progressive congressman in the country, working for AOC, okay, has a problem covering up a 500,000 felonies that he received bribes for. It's a fact, folks. His biggest contributor, donor, is Bank America, who Judge Adams in the Stanford Superior Court is a partner at Kelly Dry and Warren, cashing stolen checks of mine. Yes, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Watch Lauro ruin the United States of America. Watch her pay illegal aliens while homeless people are starving in the streets going into winter with higher costs of living, higher costs of home heating oil because of Bob Duff, because Biden's closing pipelines, because Ukraine's pipeline and Russian's pipeline and the Midwest pipeline, and Biden's selling our oil reserves. Hold on a second. There's so many people working together to destroy the United States that we should vote out every single congressman in all of New England. That's 7 minutes. I just want to point out, Himes is behind all the Russia collusion. Here he is, talking about Bannon, talking about, play the tapes.
For 9 hours, right? So I had 202 Republicans, members of Congress of this institution, who were quite happy to say, my slavish loyalty to Donald Trump will even allow me to damage this institution in which I serve. That is mind-boggling.
Well, and not even just Donald Trump. As Robert Goss has been reporting, this was about Steve Bannon, at least today.
Excuse me. The entire January 6th event has 40 Americans who I believe are patriots behind bars. Luckily, Marjorie Taylor Greene got in to see them this week. The problem here is that Mr. Himes, whose office is next to UBS that purchased Dominion software, has other problems like the Stephen Barrier murder and the bribe there. Why? Because it all goes back to his oversight of the NSA, FBI, CIA, Department of Homeland Security's folks. Open borders, paying foreigners, letting the homeless starve in New Haven so they can pay $7 billion to foreigners. 9 minutes. I'm just trying to explain what's going on because obviously the media in Connecticut does not cover it, not adequately, and certainly not truthfully.